Cinder, a remix of Dark Souls 3 by Rotaka. Folks, you know what that song means.
Ooh, my favorite
I sure
time.
do.
I mean, everybody does, I hope. I mean, we've been doing this for, Jesus, 61 rounds, and I'm also hearing myself, so what tab do I have open that I shouldn't have open? My goodness.
Yeah,
what an embarrassment.
We're
There it
still
is.
professionals.
There it is. It was on the little thingy ding.
I mean, it's a tech test. It's fine.
It's the best. Well, welcome, everybody. I'm MrBond.
I'm Tormod.
And I'm Saxxon.
It's your credits, round 61. Get some rest, which I hope all of us have been doing, or at least trying to do, because we
yes.
we did a thing last weekend. Apparently, you might have heard of it. It's Super Stigma Slam 2018.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fantastic marathon. It went very super well. We are all very proud of it, and we're very happy that it went off with a minor amount of hitches. But hey, what can you expect sometimes?
You know, I'm going to bet that Nightbot's commands are still going to be going.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Awesome. Oh, we are just the best.
Let me just go ahead and try to resolve that.
Okay, that's fine. Well, tonight is a very... No, that's
Eon's
right.
live.
Dang it. we tried so hard. We tried so hard.
So
no,
far.
shut up.
Yeah. That remix is pretty
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Look at that time. Wow.
I may have actually shared this yesterday. Maybe. I don't remember. There's a remix of In the End.
Oh, dear.
By the same guy who did Bustin'.
Oh, no.
It's so chill. I love it.
That sounds like all sorts of bad.
I listened to it several times in a row. It was really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, tonight we've got a very special show. We're going to be talking about reviewing and or doing a general postmortem on Super Stigma Slam 2018, which is the marathon we just did last weekend.
Yes.
3-day marathon, 52 hours, 37 different runs, 17 people, and some number in between of the number of games because we had a couple of repeats of different run types. But
that's true.
It was a very good time. We got excellent feedback from it. We got a lot of praise from people about it. Feeling really good about ourselves, but as is true of any large event, I think I think we would all agree that it's important to kind of look back on what we could improve because you never really stop moving forward with anything that you do, and this is certainly no exception.
Yeah, we definitely learned some things along the way. Yeah,
a few, just
a few.
But I was hoping that my little tirade there would give me enough time to pop open chat. It did not. Go figure. That's all right, though.
We're still professionals.
We are still very professional here. Where the heck's the pop-out button? Oh, there it is. Okay. Cool. Well, let's start at the very beginning then. We started an hour and a half-ish late because of various hardware things.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
All of a sudden, the HDMI matrix is like, nah, brah.
Oh, yeah, it didn't want to cooperate for a bit. So we did our best to kind of jiggle everything into place. And, after kind of that debacle, starting an hour and a half late isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Considering all of the running around we did, immediately there. So
yeah,
kudos to us for... not losing everything right at the last minute.
So we replaced the HDMI matrix with my personal one. We replaced the OSSC with my personal OSSC. We replaced the HDMI audio extractor with, well, my HDMI downscaler / audio extractor. Finally got things connected. Ended up going to Target 20 minutes before the marathon to grab it was Walmart to get some RCA extenders. Yeah, which was the best.
And Target to get an extension cord.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, for Eon's camera that didn't work because the colors looked weird.
Yep. Yeah. Which, I mean, swapping out all those major hardware bits didn't really make a difference, did it? Because we still had the color issue with the camera, which we eventually just plugged directly into the capture card because we're like,
which I'm glad that I had that cable and it was barely long enough.
Right.
Although the connector almost snapped off by the end of the marathon.
Yeah.
True.
Micro HDMI is not a good connector.
It's not the most robust.
Not to have any sort of weight whatsoever hanging onto it anyway.
After a while, I had barely enough cable where I could wrap it around the mic boom because we used a converted mic boom. And I Velcroed it in so I would give it like an inch of slack and that's all it could have. Just so it wasn't pulling down like that. It was a little less angled.
Yep.
If we could find like a right angle one, that would probably be the best. But
it's real hard to find these that go out to DVI. Eventually, once we get the matrix to work, we'll be able to find more things because it'll just be whatever little HDMI over to normal one. Those are not as, hard to find. But Yeah.
I think micro HDMI to anything is, unless it's like standard HDMI, you're gonna have
Yeah.
a heck of a time trying to find anything.
Yeah,
Go
it was a
figure.
good thing, and of course I found StarTech. Of course.
Yeah.
They'll make the weird shit.
They're coming up in the world.
I mean, they
the
have for a long
cables.
time.
Yeah, they've been. I've over the years purchased a number of things that they've manufactured from like Newegg.
Yeah. Remember when I first got the Wii U and we went to go plug in the external hard drive and we're like, oh, no power. They were the one brand I could find that did micro USB to USB-A at the time because it needed both ports for power.
Right. I thought that was something that had actually come with the hard drive. No.
No.
Huh.
Now, I mean, it came with its own little micro USB to normal USB because it's an external hard drive.
Right.
But it didn't have the two to grab power from one and data for the other.
Right, because it's expecting an actual powered USB data port.
Which on the Wii, it had. The Wii U did not.
Wii U, oh, interesting.
Yeah,
wow.
The Wii U, they're like, fuck you guys. If you want to do this, you have to use both ports. Haha.
What a step back.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nintendo.
I mean, I'm guessing a powered USB hub would have been fine, but I didn't think about that at the time, and it worked fine. Because I only had the one device.
Right. Well, that's fine. I mean, we made it work out. But anyways, back to the actual marathon before we shunt off into unrelated business here. So after that kind of hour and a half delay, things went pretty smoothly from then on. We had very few kind of hardware fiascos. There was, at one point, a run we just could not do because we couldn't get HDMI out from a certain device into the Matrix and then out to the rest of our gear. So unfortunately, we did had to scuttle that run.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. That was also a peculiar thing because if we set that laptop to go out to 1080p, the game would continue to crash every time you turn to launch it. So if you went out to some other resolution, it went out.
But then the Matrix wouldn't pick it up. And
well, the Matrix picked it up.
Oh, did it?
But it was all like the colors were screwed up.
We still had the color thing.
So it was really peculiar, and I haven't quite figured it out yet because I haven't had time to look at it. But the Switch looked fine. The gaming PC looked fine. The cameras did not. Both cameras we tried. And that Mac laptop all had the same strange color thing going on. It was kind of like half YUV, but really washed out.
Yeah, it looked like some sort of weird video filter or some color space was just not set correctly. So
I'm going to guess that it has something to do with the EDID values on the HDMI matrix, but that's just a hunch. And now that I've got a serial connection into the things, we can go in there and just keep poking and prodding until it does something.
Yeah.
So, good time to point this out. Tomorrow, around noon, 1, whatever time we start, we're going to be doing another broadcast on this channel specifically that's going to be doing random troubleshooting while on stream.
Yeah,
we're doing it live. We're going to go and configure things and see what happens.
Yep. We're going to be dialing in encoder settings because we did have a small snafu in encoder settings right off the bat. We had
peculiar.
Not really. Looking at the numbers as they were coming through, we were dipping above 50% CPU, which with the two encoding sessions going, the one going out to stream, one going to recording.
Right. I forgot about that because I usually do my recordings the same as the stream encoder, and I would figure, well, it's a direct data copy at that point.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It was different. Whoops.
Oh, well. I mean, we dialed it in right after the first run, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
And looking back at it, on a machine that wasn't lagging to heck, which a lot of things did, we were trying to initially watch the stream off of a Raspberry Pi. No.
Yeah.
Wait, where was the Raspberry Pi involved?
It was involved on the DDR
cabinet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And that was just chugging.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, Then we finally brought it up on a laptop, and it wasn't nearly as bad. So we probably could have kept it at slow for the X264 encoding, but we moved it to medium and it was fine.
It was still stuttering, and that's even after I moved it to the PC inside the DDR cabinet, which is like that is a Core 2 quad, which we can watch
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were getting very, very occasional frame drops from the encoding settings, so we just kind of bumped it down a notch, and everything just kind of smoothed itself
out. It was incredibly smooth afterwards.
Yeah, so we ended up going with X264 software encoding, despite having an NVIDIA GPU in there. Reason being, and this is based off of multiple years of anecdotal evidence now, NVENC looks like ass at low bit rates. If you're not doing 15K or above, NVENC looks trash.
I did do a little bit of research after the fact, and that's exactly what I found. Is everybody's saying like it needs more data to do its thing before it'll start even looking even halfway mediocre. So I'm gonna have to dial in my own stream settings now that I know that little tidbit.
It's important to know also that if we have static things on the layout, which a marathon will have, and even you with your layout because you have your static content, the software encoder takes that into account a lot better than NVENC. It says, hey, this shit's not changing. You don't have to constantly keep re-encoding it. It does a lot better at lower bit rates for things that have high motion on a specific part of the screen.
Yeah. And
So-
I've
Which is pretty
certainly
much
seen that.
that's our stream layout pretty much, like down to a T.
So there are things that, well, I should preface this. Our stream PC uses the first generation Threadripper. It's a 1950X. It's 16 cores, 32 threads. It's a beast. Initially, I was a little upset that we couldn't be running CPU on slow. And then I realized we're doing 2 encoders well after the fact, and I was like, oh, okay. But because it has so many threads, and OBS wasn't really aware of, oh shit, we're going away from 4 cores and 8 threads to have all of these threads. I'm curious if manual optimizations to the switches that it provides FFmpeg will give us better performance. I noticed on my personal PC, I ended up switching to... No, that's not true. I am using X264. When I was playing PC games, I dumped it back to NVENC just so I could keep my CPU overhead. But when I was playing Switch games, or whatever, X264 was fine. The medium preset, fine. Or slow, depending if... Well, I just record at the same thing that I'm streaming at. But I noticed if I set the preset to like Blu-ray or something like that and did 2-pass, it looked better. So we never touched any of that stuff. We just did medium and kept everything else to the default.
I think I did turn on 2-pass, but I don't remember. If I did, it was probably only for the recording one.
That could be. And the recording looks fabulous.
Oh yeah, that looks great. I was just scrobbling through the 200 gigs of recordings that we have for this, and I went to my Cactus Run because I know that's very high energy, high movement, and it didn't look like perfectly crystal clear, which I totally expected, but it looked a hell of a lot better than I would have had my baseline expectation as.
It looked great on the stream upstairs. So
you would have been able to, well, I guess you can compare almost side by side with like your previous YouTube postings from your own box. So I'm guessing you'd been running NVENC for the longest time.
Yeah, so ever since I had a reasonable enough card to do it with, I've been offloading it to that because otherwise it would chug the CPU.
It also looks better than it did last year.
This is a 7700.
Which, that's not old by any stretch of the imagination. Now, it's the 7700. So that's 4 cores, 8 threads?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, because I think it was the 7720 that went up to 6. What do you normally see your CPU usage at when you're playing Cactus? I mean, have you ever looked?
Yeah, it's like 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there.
Yeah, you being on the medium preset would be absolutely fine. What are you doing this broadcast on?
This is on NVENC.
Okay. I was like, let's fire up Cactus real quick and see what happens. No, that's for tomorrow's stream. So,
Sunday stream.
Well, I mean, like when we're doing troubleshooting.
Right. Well, I mean, the idea that I've got, I'm still going to keep probably the local recording on NVENC because I can just toss gobs of data at it and it'll be fine. But I'll probably dial the actual stream at it, which is 2500K, at least on my current settings. I'll probably kick that over to X264 and see what happens.
For sure.
If it improves it without any stuttering, great. Perfect. Let's go with it.
Is there anything wrong with using like NVENC at a higher bit rate to store like a local recording and then just using the software encoder for the stream at a lower bit rate?
That's exactly what we were just talking about.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So, I mean, you keep much higher quality recordings than I do. But if we were to do that, we'd want to set a minimum bit rate of about 15,000 kilobits per second.
And even then, I'll have to dial up my recording because I currently do it at 10,000.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, well, I'm usually okay at getting these processed, so I can let them sit for a bit. So let's see if 15K will work out.
Sure. I mean, you've got 100 up, so...
Yeah. I mean, I'm not worried about the upload.
YouTube's not going to be an issue.
Right.
Test it out with a really dark, really active scene with like lots of, you know, just vibrant colors kind of popping out of it, and just see what happens. Yeah.
Collider, centrifuge is usually pretty good. Convection is really good with all the flames.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, convection would be pretty good, especially because it's got the patterns of the burners everywhere. Yeah, that would actually probably be better.
That's like almost worse than the Doom 2 fire blue texture or whatever it was that just murders a stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to get high contrast in there, otherwise the encoder's going to be like,
Yeah.
Yeah, with you.
Yeah, but it kind of after that first encoding settings touch up, we were super solid and good to go.
And it was a little weird. I mean, with the exception of TGM1 and the data path needing a restart inside of the OBS itself, everything was good. It was really strange. Like
we were expecting so much more to go wrong.
Well, it's how do I explain? The OSSC literally just line blanks. So doubles, triples, quadruples, quintuples, and shits out a signal at the exact same sync that it gets coming in. And getting the data path to not have sync drops because, all right, we're going from 59.82 to 59.6 to 60.14 to all of these systems have their own syncs. And having it not drop sync the entire marathon, I didn't see a sync drop. And I was just kind of like, what the fuck?
Because we have used those OSSCs before in previous marathons, and I swear we
that was my personal OSSC, and I have seen it do sync drops
oh,
recently.
Okay. Well, I mean, just OSSCs in general. In their previous marathons, I want to say both of our Extra Life 2017 and Enda 2017 ones had some manner of sync drops. It wasn't terrible, but there were still a couple in there somewhere. So yeah, going for 50-ish hours without nary a sync problem was worrying, I guess, for a second, but also like, yeah, okay, we dialed this in appropriately enough where it didn't shit the bed.
I'm still very suspicious. I kind of want to look at this God OSSC, write down all of its settings, clear all of the other ones, and make them the same. And as we do our troubleshooting tomorrow, drop them in one by one and see if we can get it to do one, sync drops, and two, the sparkling.
Can you like not export and import on those?
No.
I don't know that we can.
Oh, that is...
Can we save to the card that's in them? No?
The card is only for firmware updates.
Pooh.
Found that out. Which...
What a waste.
Oh, you realize... I realized that my firmware might be newer than yours.
On your...
And my personal OSSC might have a different firmware than the other ones.
That's true.
Well, that's something we should do, is we should update all the firmwares right away. It's been a while. But yeah, that's just another one of those. Let's get one of those tiny micro SD cards, put it on one, swap them in there. Don't copy that floppy. We'll just use the same one everywhere.
Absolutely copy that floppy.
We will copy the heck out of those floppies.
Well, that's the thing, though. You don't have to. We're just going to borrow the same one repeatedly and just wear out the... Never mind.
Yeah,
what if I wanna?
Sorry, what?
What if I wanna?
Whatever.
You can copy if you want to. You leave your cards behind. All right, I'm done with that. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, and pretty much the only other like little blip of a drop we had in there was Twitch getting angry at us for going 48 hours straight.
Yeah, so it was interesting. We had a stream drop at 24 hours one time, and we had a stream drop at 48 hours another, which is interesting. Wait, that couldn't have happened. Why?
What do you mean it couldn't have happened? Why wouldn't it?
Because that hour marathon wasn't that long.
Sure it was.
It wasn't 72 hours.
No, you're right. I didn't see the first 24-hour drop. I only saw the 48-hour one.
Interesting. Because I was looking at our previous broadcasts, and there was one that was almost exactly 24 hours. And then there was one that was 48 hours, and it was just kind of like, eh.
Interesting. So they might have duped the first half of one of them.
I don't know. Whatever.
I'll let Twitch get their shit together.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But yeah, we are very close to the end with Azure Striker Gunvolt, and all of a sudden, it disconnected. I saw the message in OBS, and it was like, ah!
Yeah.
It was toward the end of the run.
Saw that
and then it just reconnected, and it was fine. And then I was just going in chat and being like, F5, it's okay. We're still here. Don't leave us. We love you.
Please, please come back.
Yeah.
And it did. It did after a few seconds. It just kind of bloop.
I mean, beyond that, we had 0 drop frames.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that TDS didn't decide to come out and fuck with our lines then. They did 2 days ago.
Yeah,
no
they
warning.
did.
They just went out there and unplugged my fiber when I was using it, and I was just like,
excuse me, sirs.
Yeah. They must have been doing a site survey again because they went around to a bunch of houses and were looking at shit.
Yeah,
and then they left.
They didn't look just at our pad. They looked at a couple other ones too.
Don't they write these things down?
Well, this is one. Or these are
Oy.
pedestals they inherited from the utility company.
Oh, okay.
So.
Fair.
Whatever. I'm just glad nothing shitty happened during the marathon.
Fair.
Because otherwise I would have been like, well, guess what? Get it tethered to my phone, YOLO. So, yeah, that would have been just great.
But you got to figure, like, when they're coming out, if it's not a business, chances are, if they come during the day while they anticipate people are working, it's less likely to cause an interruption that people are going to make a phone call for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Whatever.
Shrug.
It's just whatever. But besides hardware, I think the software side was pretty solid. I mean, besides the human errors of forgetting to mute and or unmute things.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Forgetting to change games on Twitch, which I will fully take responsibility for the vast majority of cases. But that smoothed out a little bit as the marathon wore on because we made and updated and detailed checklists.
Yeah.
As we were going along, which is par for the course for us, I think. But now that we have kind of a more significant marathon under our belt, we have now a pretty good checklist to build off of right from the start, which is pretty good. On the other kind of side of the software side that I was majority responsible for, the stream layout stuff, I am really shocked that we had 0 crashes in it whatsoever.
Wait, have crashes been regular?
No. In fact, the only crash I encountered was about a week before the marathon.
Okay.
Where suddenly, inexplicably, I could not get in touch with Tiltify at all. Like, their API just dropped off the face of the earth.
Oh,
and that jammed up a few things on the back end. So I'm like, well, I really hope this doesn't happen during the marathon because I don't know how to handle this right now. And it didn't, thankfully.
Yeah.
But I do have a nice test case to go in and fix now after the marathon here that I can kind of smooth that out a bit.
Nice.
And kind of the cherry on top of that is we had an error layout prepared for just such an occasion in case we lost connection somewhere, but we're still broadcasting. It would have dropped to a nice fancy air screen. Didn't see that at all. So I'm like,
I mean, we did at the very beginning.
Yep. Did we?
We had it up because we didn't want the camera showing. And you're like, fine, error screen.
Did I put it there? Okay,
yeah.
that might be true. But it never dropped to it on its own, which is like, oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Glad I did all this error handling and we didn't get to see it. That's exactly the situation you want to be in. But I'm pretty proud that we were able to slap that together pretty well. But it'll definitely bear some improvements on all sides for that. Oh boy. I think process-wise, changing between runs, we were a little shaky at first just because, one, we didn't have checklists to go against.
Yeah.
2, we were kind of trying to coach all the runners and stuff at the beginning as well, but we weren't sure of the best process to follow ourselves either. So it's a lot of pointing and a lot of shouting between headsets and a lot of... let's make sure the mics are muted before we say this word. And but after like the first, I want to say maybe 6 or 7 runs, we kind of got into a good flow of, all right, let's do this, check levels. Okay, we're good. Okay, let's go.
Nice.
Yeah.
And because of all that, we actually got significantly ahead in the schedule.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh, yeah. The first night, we went from like an hour and some change behind to an hour ahead.
Which is...
and we inserted a game that was unplanned.
Yeah.
We inserted at like 7:30 in the morning on Saturday. We're like, Krim, I know you've been up all night. Guess what you get to do? Because Eon was like, no.
No
After
more.
Z2.
Yeah.
So I was like, baby game? And she's like, I hate you. So yeah, Zelda 1 randomizer, Swiss flags from the tournament. Fucking thing got done after 38 minutes.
Yeah.
We're like, oh.
Yeah, he just knocked it out of the park with that one.
Yeah.
Which was perfect because that put us just about right on time after that point.
Yeah, it was fine. And then we got ahead again, and then we took an extended break. And
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
got some pizza.
Honestly, I'm kind of shocked we didn't get ahead more because the scheduling was such that we had ample time in between everything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, we took
none
a bunch
of our runs went significantly behind either.
Yeah, we ended up taking like 40 minutes before the PC block started just to be like, okay, time to stretch. Let's make sure everything works.
Yep, time to stretch and quick do like a quadruple test of everything else because dang it, we do not want this to go down again.
Yeah, and I should have found a way to pre-install the games first, but I'm not buying them all again, so
Mhm.
no. But this time we just had people sit down, log into Steam, and install their shit, and that was the end of it. It worked out. It worked pretty well.
I think if for future marathons, if we do have like an extra 2.5, 3 hours or something, and people are available, we can just yank the PC off to a different station
Yeah.
here, plug in, get into Steam, install your stuff. All right, next,
Yep.
and then whatever else we need to install as people arrive, we can do kind of live as we did it this past time. But
The other thing that we can have people do too is if they're Steam games, we can have them export the game.
Really?
Because then all it needs to do is be, okay, where's your game? Sign in with your account, your license, play.
Oh yeah.
that's true. That's true. I didn't think of that.
So you can back up your Steam library to anything. So
Because I got kind of confused the second time I had to log into Steam for my second Cactus round. I was like, it's already it's already installed. Right.
Yep.
Of course
Yep.
it is, because I just did this a few hours ago.
yep.
Yeah, so I think the process of putting runners in and out was kind of rough at first.
Yeah.
Happens.
But it definitely smoothed out, and we definitely got into a very good flow, especially near the end.
Yep. There was we had one game. It was that tap game. I've already forgotten what the name was.
Let's Tap.
Let's
believe.
Tap.
Yeah, it was the Wii game that I was totally asleep for. So
Yeah. Our the runner that we had for that was it was very cramped down there, and like they were gonna need a lot more room. They may do, but it was kind of difficult for them. And that wasn't the only thing that I heard about it being like maybe a little cramped the way that we had it.
Yeah, so far the feedback we've received through the feedback forum, by the way, feedback.superstigmaslam.com if
Oh,
you'd like to
yes.
throw in your 2 cents.
do it up.
The common thread I've seen so far is more comfortable chair
Yes.
and more room to work with, which 100% we agree.
Oh, for
You're not
sure.
going to get any denials from us on that, because we
Yeah.
did have to very quickly throw the space together and be like, well, okay, this is what we have to work with now. Whatever, we'll make it work.
Yep.
So we appreciate that everybody was able to make that work in their own fashion.
Mhm.
But we certainly do hear that feedback and will act on it.
Yeah. That's all I got to say.
We all knew
Yep.
about it going in. We're like, yep,
This is
sorry,
what we got.
Sorry.
I could have
Yeah.
offered camping chairs, but that wouldn't have been much better.
No, that might have been worse, being down so much lower
Yeah.
as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another thing we got to change up is camera angles, because
Oh
It-
yes.
it worked okay for the games that were on the monitor above the PVNs, because people were already kind of looking up and the camera was just a little bit higher than that. So
Yeah.
that part was okay, but for the vast majority of the runs that were on consoles using the PVMs, people were kind of angled down a bit. And we didn't get to see a whole heck of a lot of them, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate, but it is what it is right now.
It's like, is this a stream cam or a security cam?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Hey, we're watching you. You just
I
don't,
mean,
don't do that skip wrong. We'll
Yeah.
see it.
Don't miss that jump.
And I think some of the other process things are kind of working out between ourselves as hosts and as techs, and talking to the runners during the stream, like
Mhm.
coaching them on various things, like letting them know, like, you can hear us, but we're not going out on stream ourselves right now, and kind of coaching everybody on how to react to such things and how to kind of keep going with the stream as if you're not hearing a voice in your head, because I
Yeah.
swear you're not, it's just us. And that goes both ways, both for the runner communicating to tech and hosts, either non-verbally or just verbally,
Mhm.
and then the host and the tech talking to the runners as well. Besides the commentary that we helped out with as our minds and consciousnesses allowed at some points.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
Yeah, right. And it's just like, sorry, what? Try again. I've been on tech for 8 hours. Give me a break.
yeah.
Yeah, we had we kind of stretched our personnel pretty far for this marathon.
We did. Although it's important to note that we had some fantastic volunteer help as well.
Oh my gosh,
Saxxon,
yeah.
of course, you being one of them. But Krim and Dorkmaster Fleck also helped us out on tech, and we even had a couple other just kind of ad hoc stand-ins as well, kind of helping us get runners in and settled and audio levels checked and all that. So I think we could have done it if it was just us four of the core team. It wouldn't have gone nearly as well.
Yeah.
So we are super happy to have had the volunteer response that
Oh
we
my
did
gosh,
for
yes.
it, because it was just so much easier and less stressful and less impactful on all of our health to kind of have that available to us.
Mhm.
as far as the total marathon time is concerned, I think it was a good enough time. I don't think it was necessarily too much. I don't necessarily think it was too little. It was kind of in that sweet spot. It was like, yeah, by the end of day 3, it was kind of dragging a little bit just because we were so exhausted. But it wasn't terrible in so much as.
Yeah, I think it's going to probably be something similar next time. I really liked being able to start Friday evening. I think, again, we'll meet Thursday night to get the rest of the setup completely done. We'll have more done this time.
Yeah.
On Friday, it's more along the lines of, okay, let's just hammer it with various things. Let's do test runs of 5 minutes in each kind of system and make sure that everything is good. Dial in settings, make any specific notes that we need to.
Yeah, and we did as much as we could kind of that Friday afternoon before, but we kind of fell apart at the PC block part of it because we just didn't have time to do it at that point. So we were already rushing out, and it was, by that time, it was like 5:45 or something. And then suddenly, okay, let's try PC stuff. Oh, shit.
That was the first time when we were like, we're not getting any audio. We're also not getting any video out to the monitor.
And the camera's all weird.
Yeah, that was great.
So we jiggled stuff around and eventually made it work. But definitely the pre-setup time we're definitely going to increase because we need to have everything kind of settled, and then the last minute will be literally flicking switches on, and everything should be good from that point on.
Yeah, so I would like to find a way to plug most everything into the UPS. I know we can. We're going to be daisy chaining stuff, and that's no good, but we're going to have to find a way.
We can daisy chain some of the low impact stuff, I think.
Well, like we had the giant long power strip plugged into the back of the UPS. Which
that worked.
That was that was a thing.
It's a little questionable, but it worked.
Yeah.
I still want to have something plugged into the giant UPS. That would be good. That's why we bought it. Like the PCs I would like to have going into the UPS, even if we have to run the 15-foot long power cords through the hole in the wall, which I do have 15-foot long power cords, so that could be possible.
All right, we can do that.
We could do something just to make sure that we have some redundancy. Because we'll plan it a little better next time. I think we will house the ZHP equipment in the rack when we're not using it, but when we are, having it out there, it was very helpful. Because we don't have 20-foot long cables for everything.
Right, and we were plugging and unplugging various controllers and keyboards and mices and
didn't think about that beforehand either. Different keyboards and mice. People had preferences. Who'd have thought?
Right.
Not everybody uses controller. Like me. Yeah.
Get on the bandwagon, you scrubs.
I guess. So, we
need a mouse pad also.
We'll get a ZHP mouse
We didn't
pad.
have. Yeah, we can do some branded stuff. It'll be the best.
Branded ZHP mouse pad.
I mean, that way we can use it for more than just Super Stigma Slam.
Right. Yeah. We can add another little design to it for each marathon that we do.
And then enter to win.
And then people can sign our mouse pads.
There we go.
Problem solved. We could be like good old GDQ memes.
There you go. You want some con swag? Here, have some con swag.
Yeah, take a lawn chair.
And you get a mouse pad. And you get a lawn chair. And
I was really tempted. Decided against it.
Oh, well, I got your back.
Yeah.
Branded salt shaker.
For all the salts, we did pretty well on the salt factor, I think. We only had a few slips, and a couple of them were from me. So I don't feel quite so bad about that.
Yeah, you have to excuse yourself.
I did. Both times. I caught it like right away. I'm like, shit. I mean, shoot. Just bleep that out. Broadcast delay.
But upstairs, we were all like, that's another coin for the jar.
Yeah, we didn't have a swear jar. That would have been...
Yeah.
I think that would have just encouraged more of it, which is not something we wanted to encourage from the start.
That's true.
But thanks for paying up, Sex Rex. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Good old $10 just for swearing, I think it was.
Was it? Oh, that's very, very kind of him.
Yeah.
But we did have an official code of conduct against swearing, but we didn't outline any like $5 a piece or something like that. Which we might have to make a little adjustment there.
There you go.
I think
Just put it in like
process-wise,
subtext somewhere. And, yeah.
yeah, 4-point font in white or something.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I was there. Why didn't you read it?
Yeah.
Process-wise, we kind of outlined our improvements already. I think space-wise, just having a little bit more time to get set up and kind of get a lay of the land a little bit, since this was very rushed, naturally just because of a big event of 2 people coming together right before somehow.
Oh, yeah.
So we kind of had to deal with that right before, and furniture set up and getting everybody packed in and literally pulling computers off shelves to put it in the next room.
Yeah, it was a time.
And
It was time.
yeah, everybody running around, and tempers running high and short sometimes. So we had to make do with what we had. But now we're going to be rearranging things in a much more ergonomic fashion to get more space and
Yep.
get a better camera angle. And we still had plenty of space, I think, in the room as a whole to kind of deal with things, which is nice. Just
Yeah,
to
I
have
was
that not
real
so
happy about that.
close in everywhere.
Yeah, like my old bedroom.
Yeah. I mean, we made do back then, too. So
We did. And then we had to get the condo ready to be shown. And then there was suddenly a bed and furniture in that room.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, well, all right. Well, this is our lives now.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It was a thing. But whatever.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think we're at a good breaking point. Want to throw on some tune skis while we take a little breather here?
Sure, you've got all of them right in front of you, so
I
announce
do.
them all.
I will just read off both of the tune skis for
There we
bonus
go.
level 1 here. First, a remix from Super Mario Odyssey entitled "Smell the Steamy Flowers" by Ruben6 and Gamer of the Winds, and then a remix from Mega Man X entitled "Red Shifting Drift" by Gario.
Mark.
Arf. So we were having a little laugh right after we cut to the music about people getting into the habit of saying things after other things have happened.
I've been trained well, Pavlov.
Yeah, apparently. Ding, ding, ding. So I figured we'll kick off this next section with the few goofs and the gaffes that we had during the marathon.
Oh, yeah.
The first being very relevant to what I just said. Since I was on host and tech for the majority of the time, I would be the one announcing the upcoming runs or whatever. And I'm so used to announcing next songs for podcasts and whatever, Insert Credits or Seeking Affinity or whatever previous shows that we've done, that I'd want to say next up is a run of whatever, but it always came out as next up is a remix of whatever. Like, I mean, they both start with R, and it's great, and it's fine, but it's just like,
I mean, we could totally philosopher ramble and just be like, what are speedruns but remixes?
Yeah.
And I think I said a variation of that after
Did ya?
like the third or fourth
Nice.
time. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even wrong. So F off.
Yeah. Like, just before the break, I'm not used to MrBond being the last one to announce a song before a break. And I was just ready for, good night, everybody. Ciao. Adios. Like, just the way we sign off.
If you would have done it, I would have done it just subconsciously, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Trying to think of any other like funny goofs and gaffes we had. I guess probably the only other one I can kind of think of that stands out is when we hit the 5K mark.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good time.
What?
Tell me more.
So our donation incentive for 5,000 was for EI to do 100% LTTP and Super Metroid crossover rando.
Right.
And
Which EI thought they were separate, so I had to quickly come up with something else.
Right. Well, the first one was the 4,000 for him doing the EGA 1 fight for the LTTP side of things.
Right.
Which we kind of expected to hit, that was
I mean, it was like a
natural.
few $100.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
right. So we're like, yeah, okay, for grins and gaffs, we'll just say, oh yeah, 4,000, we'll do EGA 1. Okay, and 4,000 came and went. And we're like, wait a minute.
What else could we
So we're like,
make 'em
let's
do?
see. What else you want to do? Like, what's a reasonable? All right, so let's say you were to do 100% of this crossover. What would it take to get you to do that? He's like, I don't know, 5,000. Like, okay, let's see what happens with this.
So we raised the total amount on the tracker and got $4,050. $4,048 out of 5,000. And then time came and went. It was getting a little too close to the end, and we're all just like conspiring.
Yeah, we were discussing some burrito orders in the middle there. We wanted to get everybody, nice and accommodated for food. So it's like,
burritos. Yes.
had to get some burritos going. So let this be a lesson to you. If you open your mouth and say a donation total that you think is way high up there for something that you don't really want to do,
We'll
boy
make it
howdy,
happen.
boy howdy, don't even put that out there, because that is a challenge to be met.
I was gonna say that's some creative triple reverse psychology right there.
I guess. Yeah.
We ended up donating.
Yeah. What was it what was the burrito that you?
The flavor of burrito.
Yeah.
I don't think we got that. No, it was barbacoa.
It was Chumpos.
Yeah, Chumpos,
The Chumpos
that's what it
flavored
was.
burrito.
That's true, but I was talking about barbacoa.
Yeah.
Like, if you had to choose one protein for your burrito, what would it be? It would be barbacoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got something close, I think.
Yeah.
Chumpos is pretty
Chumpos.
cause to.
I was like, when I heard that, I'm like, I already know it's gonna happen, and he doesn't, and this is lovely.
Yeah. So don't be worried when you see the tech crew kind of conferring amongst themselves.
It wasn't collusion at all, even though it totally was.
Oh, it
for
certainly
sure.
was. 100%.
I
I won't
like-
deny that.
Okay, so hold on. I need to read the exact donation message. I want to make sure I get it correct, because I know roughly what it was. Yes, $955 from 0 Hour Productions with a message of, "That's right, you'll eat them." Yeah.
Now, that's kind of an inside joke to the Shmup Book Lover EI in particular. So I had to cut out a bad word in that phrase.
Oh, okay.
So, it's funnier with the bad word in there, but given the cause we were going for and kind of the PG aesthetic, I had to
Let me
take it
guess,
out.
it had something to do with the F word.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
okay.
That's right. You'll fucking eat them.
Yep, there we go.
Or something along those lines. I was like, you know what? I really want to put that in there, but we probably shouldn't put that in.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it was good. And EI was a very good sport about it. He did the 100%
Oh.
for both of them.
Yes. I need to find the photo.
Sure. Oh,
it's
right.
very
the,
good.
The sign.
Yeah.
His response during the break when we had to pause the timer.
I need to bring up my media. Woohoo. I suppose I can just show you on my phone. It's probably easier to hold up on the webcam.
Yeah, probably. This is a multimedia presentation.
Oh, it very much is. Let's see here. Photo
Lots of
starts with
medias.
P. There we go. I'm good. There we go.
So again, this was a non-PG thing that I don't think will come through on the cam very well, but I'll read it off afterwards, just in case. That's really hard to see.
Wow.
Well,
yeah, that's not effective at all.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever. Anyways, he had penned on a piece of loose leaf paper. Number 1, fuck all y'all. Thank you, EI. And number 2, stand by, thinking emoji.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously there was a little bit of salt going on after that donation incentive was met, but
Perhaps.
but he took it in
yes.
stride. He was a good sport about it, so he did
Oh my
complete the run, which is fantastic.
And
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
also a lot faster than we anticipated, and it
That is
gained
true.
us nothing.
Yeah, that's true, because originally we had that run slated for
5 hours.
5 hours, because rando's gonna rando.
Mhm.
And it took like 5 hours and 18 minutes.
Yep.
And we were like, oh.
And that's not bad for doing 100%.
Yeah.
Because the seed itself was very bad. Very, very bad.
Mm-hmm.
So we got we got our laughs out of that one.
Yeah.
That was a funny little goof and gaff we had near the end. Either of you two think of like funny, humorous moments that happened? I can think of one more, but I'm gonna save it for later.
Oh gosh. Heck. I have to think back of all the times I was downstairs, which were quite a few.
Right.
Running downstairs to quickly fix the OSSC before TGM2. Get out of the way! I have shit to do. And it was after I already took my sleep medication. I was in my boxers running downstairs. Yeah, that was a good time.
I'm glad that wasn't on camera then, because we had it at a very precarious angle most of the night.
You know. But I was just like, move it.
Get out of the way.
And yeah.
Oh, I can think of one more now. A little fire scare we had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So right in the beginning, after the first few runs, the runner goes upstairs. The runner being Eon.
Enchantress of Numbers.
And
boy.
we start smelling something. And we're like,
Yeah.
this is bad.
Like, what?
And it kept getting stronger.
Yeah. It's
And we're like, where
it
the
smells
fuck
like
is it coming from?
burning plastic. And we just, I was going around smelling electronics to try and figure out what it was.
Had to drop into the back room, smell the server rack, lean over the PC, smell that.
Yeah, I was all like, God, I hope it is not coming from the server room.
Yeah, right, exactly. So everybody's like kind of low key panicking about everything. And I don't know who discovered it first. Was it
I
you,
did,
Saxxon?
yeah.
Okay, finally. Oh, the fucking heater's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So someone had bumped the
Eon.
baseboard heater and turned the dial a little bit, and so the heater turned on, but it was delayed because it takes a while for the coils to heat up.
Yeah.
So
And we certainly did not need any more heat in that room.
No.
It was rather toasty throughout. So when you smell like burning plastic-ish scent, it's like, shit.
yeah. Oh gosh, I was all like, oh no, I know what the smell is, but
Yeah. And we had just purchased fire extinguishers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
we're
I was just
glad-
kind of like, I don't want to.
yeah, that was the next thing I thought. I was all like,
Okay.
I hope these don't come in handy, but they may come in handy.
Mm-hmm, right.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
We were all kind of panicking, and then after we figured it out, we're just like, so it was funny very shortly after the fact, but
Yeah.
during it was not very funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
That's all I
marathon.
got.
Marathon goofs and gaffs
Oh,
are
yeah.
always the best afterwards. It's just a whole pile of laughs. What else happened that was kind of funny? I mean, I think by and large the commentary for most of the runs was
Oh yeah.
fantastic.
It felt like as we got towards the later end of the marathon that the hosts and the runners were starting to communicate a lot more, which is great.
Yeah,
Because-
I sat downstairs for a long time and just decided to talk about every game. It was good.
I
Yeah.
think
Even
that's
though
fine.
I didn't know what they all were.
It's fine to break up, like some of the silence and stuff.
Oh, for sure.
One of the runners had commented like, it's kind of quiet in here," like kind of hinting like, "Hey, we should have some dialogue or
Yeah,
something."
right.
But
And I think it was harder at the beginning because we were all very focused on making sure that everything was working and running
Oh,
smoothly.
gosh,
Like we
yeah.
couldn't spare brain cells for
No.
filling in on commentary, which I think was it was partially our fault, I think, from the planning perspective. Like we didn't really ask runners for commentary. We didn't
Yeah.
say, "Hey, do you want somebody with you for commentary?
Yeah.
Can you comment yourself? Can you do
Yeah.
whatever?" So that's something that we need to take away as organizers. Be like, okay,
Absolutely.
in your submission form, can you do commentary? Do you want somebody else to do commentary with you? Can the host chime in? That sort of thing. So that'll help from a process perspective. But then again, to your point, as the marathon went on, we kind of loosened up a bit. We were finally calming down. We were able to say, okay, well, everything's running smoothly. We can glance away every now and again, and it'll help out and generally be a peanut gallery as the situation requires.
Yeah.
But even besides that, I think a lot of the runners were very good about providing their own commentary. We even had a couple ad hoc commenters kind of fill in from the other runners that were there, so that was good too. But I think now going forward, we as hosts and techs will kind of be more cognizant of, okay, well, we've got this run here. We may not understand the runs that are going on. We may not understand the games that are going on, but that also provides a really good opportunity to say, hey, here's an outsider's perspective on this game. Can you explain what's going on? Can
Yeah.
you explain this trick? Can you explain even the basic premise of the game or something like that? And kind of keep more of the dead air filled. Of course, we had our share of serious run moments where, okay, no talking.
Yeah.
No talking. We need to focus on this really hard trick or this absolute trash fire of a run that shouldn't have worked. But hey, whatever. I don't know what I'm referring to there. But I think that's something bred of experience for us as organizers, for us as runners in the marathon, volunteers in the marathon, just general help in the marathon, being like, oh, okay, well, maybe we didn't plan for this at first, but now we know for next time. We know we should be more open about it. We know we should kick in just a little tiny bit more when we need to.
Yeah.
Just had a blank.
Oh,
that's right.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just kind of had a little brief reset there. Something didn't fire in the mind.
I was waiting for border in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Can I get Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What was it that we ended up trying to play the Jeopardy theme for?
I think it was part of the crossover rando run while he was doing the thinking portion in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, we tried to very quickly find something on YouTube. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the same video that I found before, and it was real high quality, and I was real sad that I couldn't find it. But
it must be the quality I want.
It's got to be 10 hours long so we can loop it forever.
Yep.
Even when he's done.
Right.
Yeah.
So we covered some of the kind of the major improvement points that we want to hit. We covered some of the goose and the gas. I think it's also important to recognize that a lot went right.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That so much went right. I still consider it a minor miracle that everything went as right as it did.
As less of a miracle as Extra Life 2017.
True.
Because that was like
that was the
one
miracle
spark
of
away from a trash fire.
Oh
so.
yeah, absolutely. But I don't want to discount the fact that we did a lot of prep work to make it into a miracle.
Oh, absolutely.
But it was still a miracle.
Yeah, because like if you compare it to Extra Life, like we also had a lot more equipment and just a lot more to do. So a lot more points of failure potentially this time around.
We had a lot more necessary expertise spread across people that didn't always understand fully what they were doing.
Well, you learn as you go.
Right,
so.
yeah, and everybody was very good about doing that, being like, okay, well, I don't know exactly how this works, but I'll step in and help out as we need to. So kudos to everybody in this room. Kudos to Eon and Boris and Dork and Krim for helping out the other volunteers. Kudos to EI. He's a volunteer enough at this point, I think. Volunteering for the pain.
Being voluntold to do things.
Right. For the good of charity. For the good of charity.
On the first night.
The greater good.
The greater good.
Shut it.
On the first night, when it was just Eon and I like downstairs, I'd never used any of the software or any of the transition like techniques that we were using. So it's all like, what do? And so like she gave me an extremely brief crash course, and I was still able to introduce her for for a Z2 run.
I think at that point we had the checklist fleshed out just enough where, like, go here, click this button,
Yeah.
do it in this sequence that it helped.
It
I
wasn't
was-
written yet.
Was
Yeah,
it not fully written
it
out
was
at
not
that point?
fully written at that point.
Ooh, that's my
She was
bad,
just
then.
all like, okay, like you need to do things in this order, and that's it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as I was driving home for the night and or morning. I
Yeah.
was just like, oh god, I hope this goes great, because if it doesn't, oh no.
Yeah,
Oh no,
that is why I pulled like a super late night into early morning, because like I wanted to be present just for any of the audio stuff.
Right. And I think that was part of my concern personally, was like I have a really basic understanding of how this audio stuff works. Like
Yeah.
even the interface into the mixer that we had on the streaming PC was just like, okay, well, I might be able to poke at some buttons and
Yeah.
make this work, but I really don't understand what it is.
I figured as long
You're
as I
about
got the
to
levels,
get a very good familiar knowledge.
Yeah,
of that.
exactly. It's just like, well, blip, blip, blip. Oh, okay, that makes
Yeah.
more sense. Whoops, forgot to unmute that one. That's all right.
Oh,
Fix it
my
in
idea was
post.
like as long as I got all the levels correct and we went through as many consoles ahead of time as we could,
Right.
then
yeah.
they probably wouldn't have to be messed with throughout, the time that I needed to sleep afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
so you remember how I was saying that we should get you a mock-up of the Marathon hardware?
Yeah.
I actually have another HDMI matrix too. I have a
Uh-oh.
4x4. Same kind of firmware and everything.
Why do you have a 4x4?
An accidental purchase.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Eon eventually wanted to borrow it so that she could make another back-end page for us to be like, okay, we're going to transition to this source, and it goes to it. Because you can control all of that stuff at the network.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was really thinking about basically getting a little switch, self-assigned IPs on everything with a very specific IP on each one, and just using that on the stream PC 169.254. Whatever. You can still access it. And just having the backends for the Extron, the HDMI matrix,
I see
the
what you're
mixer,
saying, yeah.
and just being like, okay, we're going to this game. It's this system. Boop, done.
Yeah, we kind of tossed around ideas of that before this marathon, and we were like, yeah, I mean, that would be a good idea to do it.
Eventually.
2 days before, yeah, that would have been a good idea to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, cool. We're getting you mock-up hardware.
Ugh,
I'm gonna have to get you the bigger one of these though. I got one at home.
Yeah.
we'll
Please
see.
take it out of my room.
I was gonna say less crap for you.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely.
Developers.
I mean, yeah, I guess going back to what we can improve, obviously we've got a lot of automation that we can do.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Thanks to the absolute plethora of hardware that we have.
Yep.
We just now need the time to implement it. And
Yeah.
since
For
we
sure.
have a marathon, like a major marathon under our belt now, we have knowledge of what we need to do or what we need to be able to do. So now
Yep.
that's a lot easier than just kind of pointing blindly at a wall and being like, yeah, we need to do that. But
Yeah.
I don't
What
know
is
how
that?
do we do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
What's the all right? We know A and Z. How to get
Mhm.
between, please.
Yeah, it's a ...
Yeah, exactly.
Done.
Thanks, spread operator. Great.
Yeah.
The best. But to kind of hop back on the positivity train, special props to Enchantress of Numbers for making us these very fancy and cool staff badges.
Oh
like,
yes,
Total last minute.
Oh yeah, for
they
sure.
are great.
Yeah, they
And
were
that's
pretty
backwards on
fabulous.
capture. I need to reverse my.
No, actually, no,
camera.
it's good.
No,
It's
No.
good.
was it?
Yeah.
Okay, must
Yeah.
just be the preview then.
All you got to
That's a
do is
little-
flip it around to the back.
Right. Yeah, I'll just do that. What a great
No,
idea.
No, it's the same as here. Where you look at your preview.
I'm looking at my preview over here.
Well,
I don't know. I think I have the camera
no, it's
flipped
the
or
same.
unflipped. I don't.
You're good.
know, whatever.
It was
it's
fine.
Well, whatever. Anyways, we got these fancy badges that we were all able to don, both the primary event staff and our volunteers as well. So props to Eon for throwing those together really quickly.
Yeah.
They're really cool. I think for next time we're going to try to get some shirts or some other gear as well,
Mhm.
because heck yes, branding.
Oh yeah, and swag is awesome.
Yeah, it's really great.
especially if the designs rock, because then it's all like it's not just swag for the con. It's something that swag for the event. It's also something that I can just like casually enjoy, while I'm out.
Right.
I got to get some S3/take this water bottles or something.
Oh, I saw a really neat photo on Twitter today where they had, I don't know if it was necessarily the Take This logo, but it had the shield with the sword on the front or whatever. They were done up in some, I don't know if it was marble or some like really good wood or something. They were really sharp looking.
Nice.
I have to see if I can dig those up later, and maybe we can see if we can get some of those at some point because they were really neat.
Nice.
But kind of to your point about swag and stuff, I have this badge hanging up in my living room every time I come down for work or something. Or like I see that hanging there, I'm like, yeah, that's a thing we did.
Yeah,
isn't
Sure
it?
is.
We just did that last weekend.
Yep.
Dang, that
I'm-
wasn't some sort of fever dream.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
Well, yeah, right.
parts of it certainly felt like that. But
Yeah,
Uh,
certainly. But after the fact, now that we've had some kind of time to breathe
Yeah.
and step back, it's like, holy shit, we did a weekend marathon.
Oh, heck yeah.
With everything that we been
No
putting together
breaks.
for months.
I mean,
We did not
Minimal
play Crazy
breaks.
Taxi, but
it wasn't Crazy Taxi. No.
that's a song in Crazy Taxi.
Oh, fine. I was thinking of that thing that we're not allowed to talk about yet with Ian playing a game during break time. Cough, cough. Every time we cut, he looks more disheveled. Anyway.
I'm totally in the dark about this one. That's fine.
Oh, okay. We
That's
have
fine.
something to talk about during our next song break.
Oh, well, we don't have a next song break.
We could have one.
Well, do you want to
This-
find another couple
The
songs?
song break
really
is
quick?
going to end up being like the thing that you wanted to say the first time.
Well, it's fine. We can talk about it after the show
Yes,
when
there
y'all
we go.
can't
Yeah.
hear.
Ah.
It's a surprise.
Sucks for you. But I-
But anyways, I'm very personally happy with the way things turned out. I'm very
Yeah.
proud of how everybody came together to make this happen, despite being ultra stressed out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No one made trouble, which is great.
Correct. Yeah, we didn't have to deal with
and-
any troublemakers, which was fine.
thank fuck.
Yeah.
Very aptly put.
Yeah. It seemed like everybody was like, was contributing to like a very positive experience. Like I know that the two of you were like spending a lot of time downstairs, especially, but I spent a lot of time upstairs.
Oh yeah,
hanging
no,
out with
that
the
was
people
good.
Who, yeah, I wanted to make sure that like everyone was enjoying themselves.
That prevented
um,
me from social
upstairs.
burnout.
And it seemed like a lot of the runners and just people who were around were also just kind of like getting together and chatting and kind
Good.
of sharing things
Good.
too.
I'm glad to
So,
hear that.
It seemed like a very social event upstairs, which is really fantastic.
Especially for cycling in and out with personnel now. I think that's something
absolutely.
we should all probably make an
Yeah.
effort to do more. Like I was downstairs like almost all the time that I
Yeah.
was there just by necessity,
Yeah.
running tech and making sure everything was smooth, and you were as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Tormod.
I really think that's gonna probably be one of my permanent places is just being there.
Yeah.
Because I liked that the most.
I
So
liked
long as we
hanging
get
out with
other
everybody.
people to do that.
Yeah. Like I
we
don't
need
I
to
don't
make sure
mind.
that people can sleep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we could probably think of better ways to accommodate for people who are sleeping. We didn't really have a whole lot. And that was, I guess another challenge that we can look at.
I'm almost considering getting like a TV cart and putting one of the TVs out in the garage
Yeah.
and being like, there's the stream. You're going to sit on lawn chairs, enjoy.
enjoy.
Yeah.
I
That
don't know.
does-
I mean, it might be an option, honestly.
That does make me think of something else that came up, and I don't know if it came up in any of the feedback, but a place to practice.
It did come up a
It
couple
did,
times.
okay.
So yeah, we're definitely
Yeah.
seeing common themes across a lot of this, which is good. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm glad that people are kind of
Yeah, because
seeing the
people
same
people told me
things.
directly. They're like, is there a place to practice? Can I set up anywhere?
yeah,
Because I want to make sure that like I got what I need in order to run. And I'm like, I'm sorry,
yeah.
we
And-
can't put you anywhere.
And
but
it's a question that came up before the event too, as we were
Yeah.
kind of soliciting run submissions. Like, oh, can we practice? Can we practice? For like, yes, but
yeah,
yes with a but. You can practice. However, we really need all the space we have for like actual
Yeah.
runs and stuff like that, which is not necessarily a consequence of poor planning, just very accelerated planning.
yeah,
Like we had to put this, despite us planning this for months, it's some things you don't think of until right before or right after things start.
Yep.
So it's like, oh shoot, we did not think of this,
yeah,
or oh shoot, we thought of it, but we really probably should have put more of a priority emphasis on it.
yeah.
And now suddenly, well, okay, well we've got a good bit of feedback for next time.
Oh yeah, for
Yep.
sure. Another
Um,
another thing that was like, well, we went through the water really fast.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I
was
thought
that
about
was a
that.
surprise, and so I was all like, "Oh gosh, panic! I better go get some more water for people."
So
So
like I was the one that picked up the initial like 1 pack of water, thinking, oh well, people just refill them when they
yeah,
want to. It's like, wait a minute.
they certainly did. Like there were a couple of you who had filled it, but what would happen is like they would either be left places or people who like they would come and grab one and then take it with them, and then they would come back the next time and then grab another,
Right.
instead of bringing it back. So and just like they're very disposable, like there's one kind of one shot things. So
Mhm.
I anticipated that like it was we were just gonna have to do a lot of recycling and just deal. But
We certainly did a lot of recycling.
yeah, that and kind of an ad hoc idea that I had was snacks. And we went through those little bags of chips really fast. So
We'll basically have to go out to Costco next time and just be like, okay, 100 packs of pretzels
Yeah.
and chippies.
yeah, pretty
and
much. Because I figured if you give them snacks and you give them water, like it's it's effectively something to get people by.
It'll keep them placated.
Yeah, right.
Good dogs.
Yeah,
Lol.
but yeah, because like runners don't know how long they're going to be waiting.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I know.
and yeah,
Hmm.
but it wasn't like neither one of these were absolutely disastrous or anything like that. It was just more of a convenience thing
Right.
that kind of came up while
Yeah.
I was hanging out and mingling. So
And I think a lot of people understood like this was a first major marathon
yeah,
for a lot of us, despite I think a lot of the runners and a lot of us being at other marathons before and kind of understanding like, oh well, there's these little niceties here. But even if we can't provide those our first shot out the gate, well, okay, here's kind of an easy win for next time.
yeah,
Which I think it's nice to have kind of some of those as well. To be like, oh yeah, we kind of thought of it. We didn't give it a priority because we had better,
oh, absolutely,
more important things to do.
yeah.
Let's be honest. But yeah. Highlights, like highlighted runs. What was everybody's favorite run?
Bringing up the schedule again. It was a fever dream again.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a very
I-
hectic moment.
I was asleep for some
everybody.
really great ones, and I feel kind of bad about that. But most of my stuff was overnight.
I mean, I'm totally not sucking up here. Fucking Infinity Drive run.
Oh, that was
Hey,
amazing.
Don't sweat it. I was gonna say that too.
I mean, that was that
Oh,
was
no.
good. That
What a-
was
that
that
was-
was me being very overtired.
What
like
an,
you
and
made us
staying
sweat
up.
upstairs just watching this run.
what an almost disaster that was.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be my one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Compared to everything
goodness.
else, like everything else went well. That one was just kind of like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was, I had to fight very hard to keep myself from overreacting to things.
Yeah,
Especially about a third of the way through when I really should have been done, but
Yep.
somehow it didn't.
Yeah.
So, hey.
I mean, Kenny did keep the squawk counter going.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't recall squawking at all during that,
Oh, you
actually.
did.
Did I? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad.
At least twice.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again then because I don't recall any of those.
I would watch it with chat because you'll be able to see when Kenny thought squawks happened.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
go
that's-
back
that's a
through and
good-
scrabble on that.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I will have to because when I just went back and watched it just out of abject curiosity because honestly I blacked out for most of it.
Yeah.
Because I was like I don't remember exactly what happened.
Yeah. You're gonna want to go
Um,
back and highlight all of the marathon real quick.
Yes, I
otherwise
will
it'll
do that.
disappear.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh, by the way, we are putting archives of all this on YouTube eventually. It's just a lot of stuff to go through. 30,
Oh, for
37 runs, 52-ish hours of stuff takes a lot of time to kind of filter through. But in the meantime, yes, we will go through and highlight the VODs on Twitch so people have something to look at. But yeah, I don't blame you for saying that run was kind of up there because I thought it was kind of up there too.
Yeah.
I'm actually really pleased that the thing afterwards went so well, though.
Mm.
The little singing incentive that I did, because I was rehearsing, I guess would be the
Yeah.
best term for it. The past couple weeks, I'd always like forget a word or forget that the verse I was on or something. So I was really happy that I remembered everything. I didn't
Yep.
flub any lines. So I
Nailed
was
it.
like,
And the audio was great this time.
great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Game audio was real low the first time.
Yeah,
Oops,
it was.
This is yours. Why am I trying to drink yours?
You really like whiskey
Yeah,
I do
right.
like whiskey.
with ice.
Hmm
It's like, this is yours and this is mine.
And this is also mine.
Yeah.
They're all mine.
Gosh, I had so you want to talk about highlights? Oh gosh, there were a couple runs that I really enjoyed, and not necessarily that it's about the game itself, but Minute was a
good.
real blast
was
to
really
watch.
good.
I didn't get to see it. I'm so
oh,
sad.
Yeah, Sex Rex is just the commentary was fantastic. The humor was great. I was just so into the run start to finish, and it was delightfully short. Without feeling like it was just a speck of time basically. So
Right. Yeah. I tried not to pay too close attention to it because that's a game I want to play myself.
okay, yeah.
Without it being kind of spoiled by all the speed strats and knowing
Yep.
what's going on and all that. So I was just like,
One of our
yeah,
other
it
guests
looks
was
good, but
one of our other guests was encouraged and inspired to buy it and play through it. So
nice.
I mean, like I think that's especially for a game like Minute, that's I think it's really awesome when you see some kind of game that just like that really reaches out to you enough to like, oh, I want to do that too. And there's a whole lot more to that game than we saw, but so there was that. Puyo was a lot of fun to watch.
As always.
EI is just in general a whole lot of fun to watch. And the cutscenes are just absolutely
cutscenes were a
top
little
notch. In
quirky.
Puyo Tetris, yeah. And I also enjoyed Azure Striker Gunvolt. That is just a very exciting game to watch. Like it is just visually just far out.
Yeah, it does have a lot of pop to it. I
Yeah.
think if you're kind of looking at the visuals of it.
Ooh. I just got an idea for a game that one of you two can play during a future marathon.
Uh-oh.
I think we really need to get Mike Dies.
Oh my gosh, we need to have that run.
That has some interesting things, and it would be short.
Does.
I would need to learn the strat, but we could race it.
Oh dear. Why are you roping me into this?
Yeah.
You are the proverbial warm body.
Ugh.
You're you're also among like the three of us in this room right now, like the expert. So
The expert. I only played it like once.
well, not I'm not saying in the game in particular, but like I think that if you and I were to race it,
I
like
get you.
you'd probably still beat me, but I still want to do it.
MLG gaming. Oh yeah.
MLG game. I've got way too many MLG various things in my various runs to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, this is a fantastic event. I'm
Mhm.
glad that everybody was a part of it.
Oh yeah.
Super proud of everybody.
Yeah,
I don't
we
think
didn't-
it can be overstated.
We didn't have any like super outright disasters that once they started were just unrecoverable. It was kind of unfortunate how things went with Pokemon Sapphire, like with trying to get the RNG set up and just it was just like it's weird because it was occasionally we would just get like some ridiculously lucky crits and just proceed anyway. And Melon, was all like, "Oh, I've lost hope. Oh wait, we pulled through. Oh, I've lost hope again."
What a
So-
roller coaster.
Yeah, so it's kind of sad that we didn't get to finish that one, but
I've already been told that the revengeing needs to happen.
Oh,
so
boy. Yeah, that was a trash fire of a run. The Double Dragon 2 run between Boris and myself
yeah,
was
I
was
missed that
not
one because I was
fantastic.
asleep. But
that's okay. You didn't miss much. We did get the incentive to do Mode B, which was expectedly a trash fire.
yeah.
The Mode A run, unfortunately, was unexpectedly a trash fire.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all right.
I'm gonna have to catch that one.
That's all right.
it'll
You're
keep
like,
you warm tonight.
Don't.
Right.
I don't know. Keep me warm.
No. I think for as much stress and as much kind of stress we put on ourselves for this, I don't think I'd want to do it again. I don't think I'd want to push ourselves quite as hard as we did for it just because of things that tend to happen and poor health and
Oh,
all
yeah.
these
Yeah.
things. But I do definitely want to continue doing marathons.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because it does turn out very well, and I
Mhm.
think we've got a very excellent team to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of marathons, we have another one coming up real soon.
Real soon.
Real soon. Let's see here. It
How
turns out
soon?
it's going to be over the weekend of November 2nd through the 4th.
Oh my goodness, that is
So,
soon.
3 weeks.
So we are, yes, 3 weeks from today. We are considering 6 p.m. to midnight that Friday, 10 a.m. to midnight that Saturday, and 10 a.m. to like 6 p.m. that Sunday. Because that'll give us like 28-ish hours.
Huh.
Extra Life, they prefer that you do most of your stuff on that Saturday. We tried doing a 24-hour stream last year, just like 3 of us, 4 of us, 5 of us maybe. Most of us were up the entire time.
It went well at some points. Not so well at others.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
survived, but then I think we all kind of collectively agreed that
No more.
24 hours is too much
Yeah.
to
At
do
once.
at once.
Yeah. So I think the 10 a.m. to midnight thing is a happy compromise.
Yeah.
A bit of a preview. Speaking of Mr. Bond being a warm body being forced to do
Oh
things,
dear.
we'll be kicking off the marathon with an Ocarina of Time randomizer run. We'll probably be doing many sanities in that one.
It's largely going to be blind on my part because I have not done an Ocarina of Time rando.
Oh.
I have only very loosely watched a few minutes of one before. I'm fairly familiar with the vanilla game. But
You're about
it's-
to learn all of the places that you didn't know items
Yeah.
were.
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily true because when I played through it first as a wee babby, I had the strategy guide by me at all times, so I would get all the Skulltulas, all the
Okay.
heart pieces, and all that. So it's like, yeah, okay. But I probably forgot a good 80% of it.
Yeah.
So
I'm not surprised if that.
we're going to hang
happens.
out at some point before the marathon,
Mhm.
my good old modded N64, and we're going to do a test stream. Firstly, we need to figure out how the rando works. Because is it a Python script? I don't know.
I don't
It's
know.
a thing.
It's not like a real easy just generate a ROM
It
and
could be.
slam it
I'm
in
not
like
sure.
the LTTP rando is.
I'm not sure. But it's not a website, I can tell you that.
Aw.
Yeah, sorry. But we'll figure it out. We'll get your feet in the tiny little kiddie pool area. And then we'll just shove you into the deep end for the
Yep.
marathon and watch you
Oh
flail.
boy. Well,
You might not drown.
people better be on tracker and be ready to point me in directions then.
That is absolutely fair. We had some experience with Emo Tracker with the combo rando between Link to the Past and Super Metroid. It's going to be the same kind of thing here. So I think it's going to be okay. It might take more than 6 hours.
Oh, God, no.
We will help you. It could be
Boy.
a cooperative effort. The nice thing about this, too, is that if you get stuck, one of us can have the spoiler log open and be like, gentle nudge this way. Yes, go kill a big Poe. I don't want to. Go kill a big Poe. Oh, look, you got the hook shot. Now you can do 5 other dungeons.
Oh, goody.
Yeah.
As long as I don't get the same type of seed that Eli got for his crossover rando. Because that was just unfortunate.
Yeah, like he was probably gonna end up doing 100% anyway.
Yeah, which is kind of the real irony of the situation there,
Yeah.
is that all of his very non-standard routing actually was required.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was wild.
Real quick before I totally forget. The end of the year thing, not a charity marathon, will not be broadcast on the ZHP channel. Instead, it'll probably be on mine or something. That's going to be a ye old happy fun party with drinks and food and whatever that
Yep.
starts tentatively on the 28th of December. Perhaps the night before. I don't know. It depends on what people got going on for when they have their vacation days, because everything's kind of weird this year because Christmas is in the middle of the week. So, tentatively that weekend. It's interesting because Monday and Tuesday of the next week I'm off because New Year's Eve and New Year's Day just happens to line up on Monday and Tuesdays.
Ooh,
so
that's going to be nice, actually.
this could be
Real nice.
Oh, shit. We don't have it on the calendar.
Did I not mark that one down?
You don't have Winter Emus on the calendar.
I don't. That's not until end of January.
Well, we could just do it that weekend. It's
Really?
a long one.
But it's not end of 2018 anymore. That's like beginning of 2019.
Well, it would be. No, I'm saying we would start on the 28th, and we can continue up through New Year's Day if we
Eh,
really wanted to.
End of January is when the typical winter.
I
Emus
know,
is.
but I'm saying if you didn't want to have something so soon, we could just be like,
Oh, I
"Brr."
see. I see.
So we'll talk it over.
Yeah, we'll see. We have some other folks to discuss this with as well.
Truth. So in any case, that's probably going to be held at my place. We're probably going to have the same marathon get up. Maybe. We'll see. But that's going to be a very casual affair. Experimental things I want to try. We have something to premiere.
We do.
We won't talk about it
Mhm.
because I don't want to get anybody's hopes too far up.
Including
Only-
our own.
Only,
Yeah.
only moderately up.
Only moderately.
Yeah.
A very casual amount of hype is expected.
It will involve multiple systems, multiple PVMs, some interesting layout changes, and that's about all you get. And hopefully it won't take too long. It's probably going to take longer to do the tech stack than the game.
Oh, undoubtedly.
But we're also going to have to test G-darn.
Oh, dang it. I hate playing games.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all
In
get to do
general,
that one.
It's the worst. Games were a mistake.
Heard that before. But one final thing. Super Stigma Slam 2019. If everything goes as we anticipate, will be Friday, October 4th through Sunday, October 6th.
Another birthday event. Woo!
Yeah, pretty much. And the reason being, and at least in my part, this is a total happy coincidence.
Oh, yeah.
We happened to end at the very beginning of Mental Health Awareness Week. And that was a big take this thing as it was. And I was oblivious to that fact. It just happened to line up at the weekend that our wedding was, and everybody was in town anyway. And it so happened that we were supporting Take This. And it so happened that they were doing all this stuff starting this week.
Mm-hmm.
It started Sunday. And I got an email yesterday. Thanks for your donation of $420.69
Nice.
Nice.
to support Mental Health Awareness Week. And I was just kind of like,
Oh, yes, I suppose that is true.
so it worked out well. So we're happy to announce Super Stigma Slam 2019, very likely going to be the 4th to the 6th of October in 2019. We'll continue to support Take This. So, hooray! And that's as far out as we planned, with the exception of sometime in March or April, we're probably going to shove Extra Life 2019 there because it's going to be AGDQ in January, Extra Life somewhere in March to
March-ish,
April,
April-ish, yeah.
SGDQ at the beginning of July, end of June, whatever they decide to do, and then Super Stigma Slam at the beginning of October, and then the cycle repeats.
Mm-hmm.
It's not condensed like it is this year because we're doing a whole lot of shit at once. We'll probably continue to do the end of the year stuff just to do whatever happy fun chill time, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if we can do maybe another just kind of chill one later in the year as well.
Yeah, chill is good.
Or earlier, I guess. May-ish? I don't know.
I like chill
We'll
events.
figure something out.
We'll do it.
We usually do like, hey, we haven't done another event, or we haven't done an event in like 2 months. Let's stress over something. And then we
yeah.
do.
We need that stress back in our life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First hit's
So-
free, but come on.
Yeah, exactly. So, Extra Life and Super Stigma, or no, Extra Life and Take This are the two charities that we will probably continue to support on a static basis every year. If we do anything else, whatever, we'll figure it out then. But yeah, it's been real fun. We've got a couple of these under our belt now. Looking real forward to what happens next.
Mhm.
I think size-wise, as far as how many people were involved and how many runs and the number of time, or the amount of time rather, I think we're about at the right level.
Yes.
Yep. I want to keep it how it
Absolutely
was.
agree.
Yeah, because I think with the number of people we had for this, the 17 runners or whatever, we could probably go up to about 20.
Yeah.
I would say is a nice, just even number.
Yeah.
But with how many people are cycling in and out and everybody kind of present and somebody at least supervising at all times or whatever, we're about at our limit for what we can do right now.
Yeah, because we effectively need to have somebody running tech and somebody watching people upstairs.
Right, which we were just barely able to handle this time
Yeah.
because of excellent volunteer presence.
Mhm.
So certainly if we get more volunteer presence or something like that, we can get a little bit more of a buffer. I don't want to see us take on probably even more than that.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that, well, yeah, now we're really relying on our volunteers to do stuff that we should probably be doing ourselves.
Right.
But I think we're kind of at that level where we're really comfortable. Well, not necessarily really comfortable, but we're at the point where we can stretch ourselves enough, but not too much where we get snippy and overwhelmed, which I think is a good point to be at.
I got there a little bit less than I anticipated.
Good.
Which
Very
is,
good.
I'm okay with that.
But yeah, it's I think our resistance to that or our capability of handling that will improve as we do more of these, especially for the first major event that we've done. We handled it very well. Certainly everybody was stressed. I felt stressed out more than once during it, but I was able to kind of guard it behind the tech station, so it was all good. But I'm really proud of how everybody handled it. The good things that happened were great. The bad things that happened, everybody kind of handled it pretty well, and I'm happy for that too. But there's I don't think there's much else to say on that other than I'm proud of everybody.
Same. Honestly, yeah, we did a lot, and at many times during the marathon, I was upstairs in the living room staring at the DDR machine as it was playing, and I was just kind of like, huh. This is the real deal.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And then everybody's just kind of shooting the shit in there, and I'm like, all right, sleep.
Yep.
Or just go outside and eat subs out of a bucket. It was fine.
Yep. Bucket subs. At least when they weren't waterlogged.
That's true.
You know.
That was unfortunate.
Yeah, we
It's
learned.
funny.
It's fine.
It's funny stuff.
I need a second refrigerator apparently.
That boat did not float.
It's fine.
Other boats. But yeah, I think that wraps up our kind of postmortem / review of this. We'll have plenty of other internal discussions about it too. There are things obviously we cannot share at this time.
Yeah.
But as soon as we are able to, we will.
Yep.
I think it's really good that we are able to share a very probably 95% date for Super Stigma Slam 2019.
Yep.
That's good for both our planning and for anybody else who's planning to kind of come out and help us and submit runs and all that stuff too. The more lead time, I think that's another comment we've been given commonly, was more lead time to all this stuff, and 100% message received because we already felt that as we were doing this.
Oh, for sure.
The more time, the better. But with that, I think we're going to wrap this up for tonight. Thanks, everybody, for listening to us jaw on about this. Thank you for all your support during the event itself, all your donations, all your time, all your energy and attention.
Oh, we never actually gave the total either.
Oh, that's right. We didn't. Jeez, I'm forgetting stuff all over the place today.
$5,411.69 nice cents.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that was incredible. Our initial goal was 2,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just blew my mind.
And that was born out of not knowing what our goal should be.
Yeah.
So throw out a nice round, big sounding number.
I mean, it sounded appropriate for, like a marathon that no one has really heard of before, and
Yeah.
and our past experiences, but holy cow. Oh, that just blows me away.
And I anticipate all of us are going to kind of have these moments going forward for a fair amount. I know I will, where you just remember that this is something that we did and go, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
We did it.
We did.
Congrats to everybody involved. Well, with that, I'm going to stop, John, in your ear. And if there's any other final closing remarks, we can make them. Otherwise, we can send this off into the night.
Yeah, I think I've think I'm just gonna sit and think, yeah, we did good.
All right, very good. Tormod, anything else?
I'm not ready to say ciao yet.
Good.
I
good.
almost did. I almost did it the second time.
It was 3 for 3. Excellent. All right. Well, with that, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'm Mr. Bond.
And I'm Tormod.
And I'm Saxxon.
We'll leave you with our typical closing track, a remix from Mario Kart Wii entitled Wind in Your Hair by Overclocked University. Good night, everybody.
Ciao.
Adios.